first in HD. This is 13 Eyewitness News at 6:30.
Tragedy at Sam Houston State. Students remember 3 students who died and the lone survivor of the wreck on campus.
And a burglary turns bad. Gunfire rings out when a homeowner stumbles upon the thieves making off with goods.
Plus, one blaze and dozens of venomous snakes. What firefighters had to do when the reptile habitat at the zoo caught fire. Well, good evening. I'm Eric Barajas.
And I'm Alona Carson. Thank you for joining us.
Well, we start with the latest on a tragic accident in Huntsville that left 3 students dead and 1 on the Sam Houston State University campus.
That lone survivor of that wreck is now resting back at home while family and friends are mourning those who died. Eyewitness News reporter Pooja Lodi has been following the story, and she joins us live with the latest. Pooja.
Alona, investigators tell us that the driver was speeding, and they're still looking into whether alcohol was involved. Meanwhile, students have set up this memorial honoring their friends.
Investigators painstakingly reenact the crash scene, working to make sense of the tragedy.
And these are kids who, they're just starting to, begin lives and then...
Confirmed dead, Blanca Espinal, just 19 years old, a Houston resident and the driver. 22-year-old Eric Torres from San Juan, and 20-year-old Alfonso Mata of Brownsville. 23-year-old Thomas Rolling of the Woodlands was injured, but his father says he's now out of the hospital and resting at home.
The driver lost control and came across and ended up against the building.
Investigators say the car was speeding, going northbound when it rammed into this curb, eventually crashing into the side of this building. The car ended up upside down. You can see it in this photo provided by the campus newspaper, The Houstonian. According to the university, this is the first major crash at this intersection and one of the deadliest days in the school's history.
This is unprecedented, I think, and really even for one student to be lost. These young people often have never experienced the death of a loved one.
I'm glad that I spent every minute I could with them, and I'll cherish it for the rest of my life.
And most students right now are actually not here on campus due to the holiday break. So the university is going to be providing counseling services now as well as into the coming year. Live at Sam Houston State, Pooja Lodi, 13 Eyewitness News.
New at 6:30, we now know the name of the off-duty reserve deputy who died during a crash early yesterday morning. Harris County Precinct 6 Reserve Deputy Hector Cardoza was in the passenger seat of a pickup truck when it hit a retaining wall on the Gulf Freeway. The driver survived and was taken to the hospital. Cardoza was ejected from the vehicle and died at the scene. HPD is now investigating that accident, and funeral services are pending. New at 6:30, the U.S. Postal Service offering a reward of up to $25,000 for information leading to the arrest of suspects who robbed a letter carrier at gunpoint over the weekend. This happened in the 11,000 block of Mile Drive in Houston around 1:30 Saturday afternoon. Authorities are searching for 2 suspects between 20 and 25 years old. They were seen driving a brown or green 2004 Toyota Corolla with Texas license plate JBZ 900.
We are following the latest developments with the BP Gulf oil spill, and right now a federal jury in New Orleans is deliberating the case of a Katy man on trial in connection with the 2010 disaster. Kurt Mix is charged with obstruction of justice for deleting hundreds of text messages after the massive Gulf oil spill began in April of 2010. Prosecutors accuse Mix of trying to destroy evidence, while Mix's attorney calls the charges unfair and baseless. In downtown Houston, both sides presented closing arguments in the Ashby high-rise civil trial. 7 residents living by the project location near the Museum District are suing the developers to stop the project. This fight's been going on for about 6 years. Work has already started at that project site.
There were some scary moments for a homeowner in northwest Houston when he stumbled upon a few crooks breaking into his home. They opened fire before taking off. Eyewitness News reporter Carla Barguerena is live with the latest on what happened. Carla?
Alona, definitely some scary moments for the homeowner and for the residents out here, considering it happened in broad daylight at about 11:40 this morning. We were here as the homeowner was reenacting what happened to Houston police. Investigators tell us the homeowner drove up to his home in the 10,000 block of Larston and noticed 3 men walking out of his house. We're told that's when one of the suspects pulled out a firearm and began shooting at least 4 shots at the homeowner. Luckily, police say the man was not hit. At this point, we don't know what, if anything, the thieves took. We talked to the victim's next-door neighbor not too long ago, who is, as you can imagine, shaken up over what's happened.
It just boggles my mind up and worries me because I have 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl that come out, and they're playing around, going from house to house because, you know, everybody knows, of course, one another.
He went on to say he's lived here for about 10 years and nothing this dangerous has ever happened before. Houston police tell us they are looking for 2 African-American men and 1 Hispanic man in connection with this case. They tell us those 3 suspects fled in a silver Buick. We're live in West Houston. I'm Carla Barrierena, 13 Eyewitness News.
In news around Texas, 6 reptiles, including a rare Komodo dragon, died this morning in a fire at the San Antonio Zoo. Zoo employees smelled smoke around 6 this morning near the reptile area. Firefighters dodged venomous snakes to battle the flames. Most of the reptiles were safely evacuated, but it was too late to save one of the Komodo dragons. Authorities are still investigating what sparked the fire, but say it was likely an electrical problem.
This came early for a few families in Austin this weekend, but this Santa was dressed in blue and he was carrying a badge. Austin police and dozens of volunteers knocked on doors delivering toys for kids who otherwise may not have gifts under the Christmas tree. The police chief there contends this isn't about toys, but rather investing in the city's future.
When we come here and these kids see the police and they see the community and they see that people care about them, I think it spreads, it plants seeds of hope, and seeds of hope end up growing into strong trees, and, you know, I think it gives us a secured future.
This year, Operation Blue Santa helped about 4,000 families.
Still ahead on Eyewitness News at 6:30, a wonderful story of hope, how some door decorations are helping not only spread cheer, but change lives. And with just a week and a half left before Christmas, it's time to get those presents shipped out. Ahead, we break down the shipping deadlines. And a 17-year-old senior will not graduate on time, all because of a hug. We'll explain how it happened next. But first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Tim Heller for a quick look at your forecast.
Well, Eric, temperatures have already dropped about 10 degrees from highs today that were in the upper 50s, low 60s. Right now, some of us are already down to 50 degrees, like Alvin and Willis. 52 degrees in Cypress, Wharton's in with 50. Cool tonight, but not quite as cold as last night. And a warming trend in your 7-day forecast.
The Nutcracker by Houston Ballet. Order your tickets now.
It's time to ring in the new year right at your Buick dealership. Make your resolution to join the thousands of people every month who are switching to Buick's innovative technology, design, and luxury. Get into the Buick holiday event with exceptional offers and get your year off to a great start.
During the Buick holiday event, lease this 2014 Buick LaCrosse for around $299 per month.
He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me.
Warm and flaky in 15, everyone loves Pillsbury Grams.
Make dinner pop.
Holiday cookies are a big job. Everything has to be just right. Perfection is in the details. Pillsbury cookie dough. Make the holidays pop.
From the highest heavens came a majestic civilization. Its splendor once lost, Now, the divine culture has returned. Coming to Jones Hall, Houston, December 23rd through January 1st. For tickets, visit shenyun.com.
The Nutcracker by Houston Ballet, a holiday gift for the whole family.
You're watching ABC 13, Houston's news leader, live with Eric Barajas and Ilona Carson. This is 13 Eyewitness News at 6:30.
It is hard to lose your apartment or house, harder still to lose your home at Christmas time. But today we're going to show you how some women and children are making the best of the holiday season by bringing beauty into their shelter. Christy Myers has their story.
About them. She could have been decorating a mansion for the Care Latasso Pinkney-Chook and decorating the door to her room and the Salvation Army's family residence where she and her daughters are spending Christmas.
And I decided to put my twin girls on the door. So Christmas is about them and the Lord.
It's a Salvation Army tradition. The women who need shelter decorate their temporary doors as if this were their home. And they're proud of what they can do with donated decorations, like turning the wrapping paper over to make a snowman.
Made her look interesting snow lady with her pink hair and her little bell for a hat.
But a little wistful, hoping next year she'll be in her own home.
This is a nice place to be, but I would like to be by next Christmas.
Salvation Army counselors work with the children on their reading skills and help their mothers deal with the problems that left them homeless.
Lost my job, my car, and my place to stay all at one time.
Pauline Bonilla, who lost her apartment too, decorated with the help of her son William.
Yeah, it kind of makes you forget about what, for the moment on what you're going through. So yeah, it kind of helped out a little bit.
I helped my mama.
Yeah, he's a big help.
Miss Bonilla.
Today, Pauline Bonilla and her son William received a prize for bringing a little beauty into their temporary home. And like so many here today, this day of decorations is really about hope and second chances. Christy Myers, 13 Eyewitness News.
And I'm over at the Smart Board tonight, and we are talking about Christmas deliveries. Today was the busiest day of the year for shipping mail carriers, with 300 packages shipped per second, and about 34 million people picked up packages today, with most of those expected to reach their destination by tomorrow. And we're just 9 days left until the big Christmas holiday. But before you send your packages off in the mail, know your shipping options first. Tomorrow is the last day to send a package to the cheapest option available, so it will get there by Christmas. That's using either FedEx Ground or USPS Priority Mail. Now, December 20th is the last day to use USPS First Class Mail and the last day for normal UPS pickup. And the 21st is the last day for the U.S. Postal Service Priority Mail and UPS Worldwide Express. And if you absolutely have to wait until the last minute, well, you can still send your packages on the day before Christmas Eve with FedEx Express, U.S. Postal Priority Express, and UPS Next Day Air packages.
All right, well, we have to, wait till the last minute. So we'll be using those, Eric. Thank you. Now, let's top some national news here. A federal judge ruled today that the phone probing conducted by the National Security Agency is unconstitutional. This massive surveillance program was exposed last year by NSA contractor Edward Snowden. You heard all about that. Well, U.S. District Judge Richard Leon found that the program appears to violate the Fourth Amendment ban on unreasonable searches and seizures. He also said the Justice Department failed to demonstrate that collecting the information helped to stop terrorist attacks.
A senior high school student in Georgia likely won't be graduating this year after being suspended for sexual harassment for hugging a teacher. 17-year-old Sam McNair says he was just trying to spread some cheer, but public school officials said the teen crossed the line there. Surveillance video shows the embrace. The teacher even claims McNair kissed the woman on the neck, but McNair says that's not so.
Something so innocent can be perceived as something totally opposite. You never know what someone's going through, A hug might help.
McNair's family is appealing the suspension with the school board, so we want to know what you think. Should he be suspended for hugging? You can join the conversation on our ABC 13 Facebook page.
A lot of people talking about that one. Still ahead on Eyewitness News at 6:30, a problem developing with e-cigarettes. We'll talk about that. Also, hear why federal health officials say that antibacterial soap could actually be bad for your health. They're even trying to pass a proposal to change it.
And then coming up on Eyewitness News tonight at 10, millions of dollars worth of military trucks reduced to scrap. Why those life-saving vehicles that were made in Sealy are now ending up in local salvage yards. And we'll have that story tonight at 10.
Tonight, the battle of the bulbs continues as families across the nation
Bring it, America!
Compete to blow your... Oh, boy. There we go. The Great Christmas Light Fight, all new tonight. Part of ABC's Home for the Holidays.
There's no vaccine for a broken heart, but several protect preteens from vaccine-preventable diseases. Ask your doctor.
Well, you know, they ask you questions like, well, just an example, what do you wear to bed? You wear pajama tops, the bottoms of the pajamas, a nightgown, or so I say Chanel number 5. Because it's the truth. And yet I don't want to say nude, but it's the truth.
At Dillard's.
Paragon Casino Resort presents Casey and the Sunshine Band, Saturday, December 28th. Book a room with tickets and save. Paragon Casino Resort in nearby Marksville. Come see the way Louisiana plays.
Honey,
I'm fine, okay?
There's no vaccine for her drama, but there's one for HPV that helps prevent cervical cancer. Ask your doctor.
Portions of this program are brought to you by Deutsch & Deutsch Jewelry, where life happens.
Topping our health check today, think twice about using that antibacterial soap that we all use all the time. The Food and Drug Administration is now saying it does not actually have any germ-killing power, and in fact, it may come with some health risks. Today, the FDA proposed a new rule that would force soap makers to prove that products with added antibacterial ingredients are safe and effective. They are specifically looking at triclosan, which is used in 93% of liquid products labeled as antibacterial. It does not apply to hand sanitizers, hand wipes, or the soaps that are used in hospitals. Now, while e-cigarettes have not been found to have any cancer-causing toxins in them, a new study is suggesting that the nicotine delivered in e-cigarettes may cause heart disease. Research shows that nicotine exposure can cause direct harm to cells in the heart. The findings suggest that the battery-powered e-cigarettes may not reduce a smoker's risk of heart attacks like previously thought.
We are following a developing story out of the Midwest and Northeast where things are starting to get back to normal after the massive winter storm that slammed the area over the weekend. Over 20 states were blanketed with snow, and it produced some dangerous travel conditions. At least 4 people lost their lives due to the storm. It also caused chaos at the airports with nearly 7,000 flights being delayed and another 400 canceled. The weather also caused some delays in getting your holiday packages delivered on time.
Now, AccuWeather with 13 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Tim Heller.
All right, of course, we are busy looking toward Christmas,
That's right.
and it sounds like we have some holiday-ish weather on the way.
You know, next couple of days going to be nice and cool. We warm it up, but then we're going to cool it off again here just in time for Christmas early next week. But this week, the big weather trend will be the warming temperatures. So if you like the cooler weather and you like to shop in the cooler weather, next couple of days would be the day that you need to get out there and do some of that. Of course, the earlier the better, right? Well, here's a look at the temperature track over the next 7 days. I want to point out here the climb in the temperatures. We're back to almost 80 degrees here by Friday and Saturday. And then the cold front comes through early Sunday. That's going to drop the temperatures into Monday. 30 degrees colder. We're going to go from a high of almost 80 to a high temperature that's back into the 50s here by early next week. And we're actually going to stay seasonably cool all the way through Christmas. That 9-day forecast coming up in a moment. Here's what's going on. Clear skies around Texas right now, but let me pan the map here and notice the big swirl in the cloud cover out here off of California coast. That's an area of low pressure that's going to be tracking across the U.S. over the next couple of days. Out ahead of it, there will be some warm air that we're going to feel not only here, but all across the middle part of the country. And then behind it, on the backside, we're going to find some of this Arctic air that's sitting up here in the north will be dropping down across the middle part of the U.S. So we get the warm air first and then the cool down, all thanks to a very strong area of low pressure that'll be moving eastward over the next 7 to 9 days. Again, right now we've got a clear skies. You look over the city. If you're traveling, doing anything around the state, it's beautiful weather out there the next couple of days and dry skies as well. 52 here, 58 up in Dallas, 51 Austin, 62 degrees in San Antonio. Tonight into tomorrow, temperatures are going to be cool, just not as cold as they were last night. Last night we hit 30 degrees, the coldest so far this season. Tonight, 39 degrees. I still think it'll be cold enough, some outlying spots and even maybe some of the low spots within the city. You may wake up to a little frost on the windshield again tomorrow morning, so prepare to scrape that off again. But then by tomorrow afternoon, a nice little warm up here. We're going to go from 39 in Houston back up to a high temperature of 66 degrees tomorrow, mid to upper 60s across the area, several degrees warmer than it was today. So the forecast looks like this, at least for the first 7 days here. We've got upper 60s for a high on Tuesday, Wednesday, low 70s Thursday. Clouds increase here toward the end of the week. Friday, a cloudy day, a few scattered light rain showers. That's why it's only a 30% chance of rain. And then Saturday is your best chance of rain. The cold front comes through Sunday, which leaves us with seasonably cooler weather all the way through Christmas. Right now forecasting a high temperature of 60 degrees, which actually isn't bad for this time of the year.
Okay, very nice. Tim, thank you.
It's hard to talk about, but we got to do it. It's at a dozen now. Texans losses, that is. Here's, well, Sports Director Greg Bailey.
We are obligated to continue to talk about the Texans. Their list of problems grows. Big names and key players now battling injuries. Longhorns coaching surge hits the biggest names in the sport. And the Katy Tigers 4 quarters away from the school's 8th state title. Next in sport.
Hi, I'm Patricia Lopez. A lot of you want a new cell phone for Christmas, so Consumer Reports has tested them out. Find out which ones can keep a charge for 24 hours and which ones have the best camera features. It all begins tomorrow on Eyewitness News at 4:30.
People have told me how the ABC 13 weather app has saved the day for them, helping them keep an eye on changing weather all day long, even getting voice alerts on storms and flooding. Download our free ABC 13 weather app today, keeping you safe and informed.
Welcome to Nissan's most memorable event of the season. Shop for something perfect for long holiday road trips, easy family get-togethers, and a smart way to stay in touch. Save on our most innovative lineup ever. Choose Altima and save up to $2,000, or get 0% APR financing on Sentra. Hurry, holiday specials end soon. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
In a world full of dictates and conventions, could there be another way? La vie est belle. La vie est belle. Famille eau de parfum, Lancôme. Now at Dillard's.
Give Texas Lottery scratch-offs this season and share the joy. Give, scratch, be merry.
Portions of this program are brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Give, scratch, be merry.
Now, 13 Eyewitness News with Sports Director Greg Bailey.
Well, if 12 straight losses weren't enough, the Texans' injury report today includes scans or MRIs for Antonio Smith, Jonathan Joseph, and Ben Tate. And Wade Phillips said we'll have to see if Case Keenum can play against Denver. He's got a sprained thumb. Phillips addressed 14 penalties called against his team Sunday, but this answer could apply to everything that ails the reeling Texans.
Not everything's taken care of on 1 week. You can't, we have a whole off season, a whole training camp to put a team together, and then to say, well, in 1 week, all of a sudden you're going to change, everything. That's not really realistic.
Other end of the spectrum, Houston's own Michael Thomas, hailed as a hero in Miami after that game-saving interception in the final second Sunday against Tom Brady and the Patriots. Graduate of Nimitz High almost missed that big chance. The Dolphins wanted to sign Thomas off the 49ers practice squad, but he kept on missing messages from his agent on Tuesday. Finally, Thomas answered. He barely caught his flight, signed with the Fins on Tuesday before saving the game on Sunday.
Words can't explain how I feel right now. I just thank my teammates, my coaches for trusting me to put me out there in that type of situation. It's like some dream stuff. But last week you weren't even working. I just got out here Tuesday, Coaches, they weren't really throwing me in the fire. Everybody was trying to catch me up to speed. I just thank you for trusting me and putting me out there.
Longhorns' search for a new football coach rests on one principle: shoot for every one of the biggest names in the game. Somebody bound to say yes. ESPN reporting today Steve Patterson's A-list includes the Eagles' Chip Kelly, Seahawks coach Pete Carroll, and Packers coach Mike McCarthy. Niners coach Jim Harbaugh, the Steelers' Mike Tomlin also gaining mention. Over at Rice, the Owls starting preparations for the Liberty Bowl against Mississippi State. They take aim at the school's first ever 11-win season, but in Memphis, they'll also visit the Martin Luther King Museum, taking an NBA game. David Bailiff calling it a business pleasure trip. 3 area teams set to play for state titles Saturday in Arlington. Brenham, Pearland, and those Katy Tigers. Bob Slovak reports Tigers right where they expect to be.
How focused are the Katy Tigers on winning their 8th state championship? Well, their 52-0 semifinal win over San Antonio Johnson said it all.
We've really, stepped up our game. We had to because the competition's been really good. And I'm very pleased with, the way their kids are playing right now.
In Katy, you begin in August thinking state championship. Anything else is not acceptable. So the Tigers are right where they expected to be. It'll be Katy against Cedar Hill for the 5A Division II state title Saturday night in Cowboy Stadium. A rematch of last year's title game that the Tigers won 35-24.
Their whole goal is to just get back to beat us because we beat them last year, but we're not coming down to lay down for anyone.
It's hard to beat a team twice, but we're going to prepare. We're going to prepare well. Our scout team's going to give us a good look, and we're going to give everything we have.
On Saturday, the Tigers will be gunning for their 7th state championship in the last 15 years. During that time, they have set a standard, a very high standard for football in the state of Texas.
Every year we go in thinking state championship, we're going to win this year. And then anything besides that is just a failure.
And that's kind of an expectation you have here, and it's a good thing. Like I said, tradition's a big part of any program, and I'm very thankful we have a little bit on our side.
In Katy, Bob Slovak, 13, Eyewitness Sports.
And thanks a lot, Greg. That does it for us.
Have a great night. We hope to see you back here at 10.
Tim Heller and the 13 Weather Team, keeping you safe.
What does your